Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining us from today. I believe others will join us as we proceed with the session. Please give me some seconds to sort this coffee. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, from wherever you're joining us from today. This is the 49th edition of Thrive. Let me share my screen so that we can all be on the same page, proverbially. I think we have a couple of excuses. People will not be able to make it today. So I think, but we'll just roll. One person, two persons is enough for us to start any edition of Thrive. And I'm always happy to share and happy to learn from you guys too in the course of what we are sharing today. Where's my app? I need my assistant to take the note as I'm talking. Where is this AI? Sorry, let me pause the screen and bring it in. You can join us. Okay, I need you to join us now. Yeah, so good. Is there now? Okay, so back to sharing my screen now that the AI machine is there. So as I was saying, this is the 49th edition of Thrive. And, we do it every month, the last Sunday of every month. And it's a forum where I get to share some of my life learning, some of my meditation, some of my observations, some of the things that I've learned over time, maybe in the past few days, in the past few weeks, in maybe a particular month that under review. I think when I was meeting with the our new interns on Thursday, one of them said that they love to think, and I said, well, that also applies to me. I love to think and to meditate, and because of that, get so many insights, get so many revelation, so to speak, and that also form the bulk of what we discuss at Thrive with Babs every month. And we started as an offline physical meeting. We're holding it then in our office, but after COVID, we just moved to fully online. And then I had to leave Nigeria at some point, so it even became impossible for me to be able to do it physically. So we just continued in the online spirit. And today, what we are discussing today is how to thrive despite the odds. How do I call it now? Coincidentally, thrive is the title of the session, and today we are talking about thriving. So these are some of the topics we've dealt with over time in the course of Thrive. You see them as we go through the list. We started with self-definition and identity. Purpose, we did a four-part purpose. That's 4 months where we delved into the issue of purpose. Purpose is one of the most confusing topics out there. Many people just approach it from different perspectives, and they don't usually get it right. I'm sorry to say, but we used these 4 sessions to actually discuss purpose. And then after that, we still did another session on another round of session on purpose. And that is going to be a book that I'm going to release very soon by God's grace. If not this year, then early next year, that book is going to come out. It's titled Purpose at Last. Just dispelling some of the confusions around this very important topic that is germane to our lives and our existence. Then we looked at 3-step leap that will take you from where you are to where you ought to be. 3 steps. What are those 3 steps you need to take to take you from where you are to where you ought to be? And if you are working, you're striving, you are making efforts, and things are not working the way they should, what could be the missing link? That was the topic of another discussion we had. As we will see, some of these topics are not they are not motivational topics. They are not in that ilk at all. I mean, it's more or less a life sharing session because these are issues we deal with on everyday life, issues of success, issues of challenges, struggles, even dealing with failure. And if we look through the list, we have quite a number of them. While we suffer in the midst of plenty, how to design and utilize feedback, I mean, for life and professional success. I mean, and then on and on. And the last topic we considered is titled leverage. Leverage, how to leverage, use leverage to achieve personal success, career success, business success, success in any area of life. So that was what we considered at the last session of Thrive, which held in June. And you know, I will do a quick recap of that. But before I go into that, some of the references in terms of Thrive. Here are some of the things that you see copiously maybe recurring in the course of Thrive. I use Bible as a resource to underpin some of the things I'm talking about. And, I always say I'm not using Bible as a religious to preach to anyone, to preach at anyone. It's seen as a literature, as a work of art that contains timeless lessons of success, of growth, of overcoming the odds and challenges to become who you are meant to be, to achieve your dream, to achieve your purpose. So the Bible is used as a literature reference, nothing more than that, not to preach to anybody. We cite some of the instances there and then we use them. And why? Because it's enduring nature. It's one of the oldest books around that you will find, one of the oldest that you'll find around. So it has endured several centuries, if not millennia. And then, it's also universally applicable. Some of the lessons there, we can easily apply them. We can we can apply them to our lives, to our situations and our circumstances. And some of the scenarios there, we can relate to them. So there's this relativity. You're talking of greed, you're talking of success, you're talking of overcoming the challenges or odds. You see all those lessons there embedded in the Bible. And because we can't be using a contemporary person's life so that they don't sue us for defamation of character. So the Bible is a very safe resource for us to use. And a recap of last session, where we're talking about leverage, we started by looking at leverage in practice. Leverage in practice. How does it work in practice? Okay, all of us, we use the word leverage, we hear it, we use it at times. So how does it work? What is leverage? And then we look at the framework of leverage. When you are talking of leverage, how is this seen? How can you evaluate it? How can you say, I'm using leverage to achieve this end, to achieve this purpose? And those are the framework of leverage. Then we considered how to use leverage for career and business success. And then we also looked at some of the questions you should ask if you want to utilize leverage efficiently, effectively. Then we looked at critical considerations for you to be able to make the most of leverage when you are using it. So, good enough, the recording of the sessions are always uploaded uh, on um, on YouTube. So you can always go there to go and watch it, to go and be part. I mean, go and if you were there, you can always recap. And if you want to watch it afresh, you can just go there and watch it afresh. So today we are looking at how to thrive despite the odds. And we usually start by, because I said it's a sharing session, I learn from you guys. I learn from your sharing, I learn from your experiences, and I also shared the things that I've learned and prepared for us. So we start really by learning from the audience. And the question is, what does thriving mean to you? And how will you know you are thriving? What does thriving mean to you? And how will you know you are thriving? I mean, I'm not sure we are that many here at the moment. So everybody's encouraged to talk. Let's know what thriving means to you. When you say, okay, I'm thriving, what do you mean by that? And it's your answer. It doesn't have to be, there's no right or wrong answer, because what thriving means to you, it may not be what it means to me. So let's hear your own answer. Let's say your own submission about thriving. And how will you know that you are thriving? Anyone willing to share with us? Or should I just call names and then we just do popcorn? So I call somebody, the person I call whoever they want to call next, and we just go like that. So Miracle, is that you are the first to come in, and your name is the first I'm seeing on my list here. So please tell us what thriving means to you, and how do you know when you are thriving? And once you finish, call the next person you want to talk after you. Miracle, let's hear from you, please.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I believe you can hear me. So,
Sure.
thriving to me means the state of not just surviving, not just pushing through, just to live every day just as it comes. It is a state that every aspect of your life, to a
Mm,
reasonable extent,
mm,
is flourishing, is doing well. Personally, I
mm,
won't say you are thriving when one aspect of your life is doing so well and the other aspect is, going down, not
mm,
doing well at all, or is even very bad. So, is that for me? I believe that for when somebody is thriving, when I say I'm thriving, I
mm,
basically mean that the results I'm looking at, like in every aspect of my life, to a good extent, I'm seeing the results I'm anticipating. I'm seeing the things I'm working towards. I'm seeing it yield the results and the fruits I
mm,
want them to yield at a time. Like, and no aspect is like down, down, down. All of them are doing well at different phases, and I still have the opportunity to keep improving, and I have the opportunities and what it takes, different things that are available that can still
mm.
help me to make them yield more results and fruits. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. That's very profound. In fact, I think I'm tempted to just hand over the mic to you and let you just take us on the session
Oh my
while we all
goodness.
listen. While we all
Thank you
listen
very much, sir.
to what you have to say on driving. Very fundamental and profound things you said there. It doesn't mean surviving, it's flourishing. And you mentioned something that, okay, thriving to you is not okay when one aspect is flourishing but the others are struggling. But you want to see an all-round flourishing, all-round flourish. And talking about seeing results, I mean, it says many things, many interesting things. Please call the next person you want to speak so that we can hear the insights from another person as well.
Okay, I'll call Emmanuel Olaya.
Okay,
I don't know if I
Emmanuel,
got the
you have
name
the
correct.
mic now.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good
Good
evening.
evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you, sir, for the privilege. Thank you, Miracle, for calling me too. Okay, so to thrive to me um is a little bit ironical in the
Okay.
sense that it means to grow, and as Miracle had said,
Mm,
to flourish. But
mm,
in growth, that growth comes from discipline.
wow.
Okay, and in discipline, it's not being comfortable. It's about doing
Mm,
something that you know you have to do, even when
mm,
it's not comfortable.
wow.
So as much as thriving is growing, developing, and flourishing in a healthy, positive way, it also
Mm,
comes from hard work,
yeah.
like discipline. So
Mm,
it's very interesting though, but I believe to thrive is growth that
mm,
comes from a place of discipline.
wow. Thank you very much for that. That's another very, very profound submission we have from from are you Emmanuel? I mean, Emmanuel. Oh, sorry. Yes, I remember. You
Yes,
are
sir.
the Emmanuel
I'm the
that
one with
has, yes, yeah, you have
the
a
feminine voice.
very feminine voice. That's nice. I'm sure your girlfriend or whoever will just like it. Hearing a more subtle voice next to us. Okay, I mean, very profound, as I said, was talking about growth and flourishing in a context of discipline. And that is very, very fundamental. You know, growth can be uncultured, uncultivated, unpruned. And when you see growth like that, it's scattered, it's all over the place. And if we go to the forest to see all kinds of growth that are not acculturated. But when you have the ones that are disciplined, you will know that this is a well-maintained growth. And that is one of the major things I took from Emmanuel's submission. Thank you very much for that as well. So, what to call the next person for us? Emmanuel.
Okay, sir. I think I'm going to call Alexandria Mwabwezi.
Okay. Alexandria, is your turn to teach us. Alexandria, we're waiting for you. Emmanuel is like, you didn't call right, so you have to call somebody else.
Okay, sir. I'm going to call John.
Okay. Okay, John, let's hear from you, please. What does thriving mean to you? And how do you know when you are thriving?
Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening, everybody.
evening. Yep.
All right. Thriving for me, thriving, like Depaul said, is when you're flourishing and growing
Okay.
in various aspects of your life, and it actually comes through consistency. When you're consistent with your the inputs that goes into your growth, your study, your every input. I'm looking at the tree, the palm tree just at the back of you, the background.
Okay.
I see it's actually thriving where it is because of the whole things that surrounds its growth, the water it receives from the ocean, from the river right behind you, the things, the nutrients it receives from the soil, and the sunlight it also receives from the atmosphere. So everything combined together helps it to grow and thrive in that where it is. And also the location too. If the location is very wrong, it will be able to thrive in that place. So location is also one thing that helps a person or an entity to thrive and flourish. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John, for that. That's also, I'm actually learning a lot. I'm adding to my, and that's the truth, guys. I'm adding to my idea of thriving from what each of you have actually said. And John also gave us this, still the same in the area of flourishing and growing, but he's adding consistency to his own. If got to be consistency in terms of the growth and then the external factors. I think that's what I picked up from what he meant. Okay, I didn't even see this tree behind me until he's pointing my attention to it. I have my own tree that I've already said I'm going to show you guys, but you are seeing a live tree that's actually showing that it's thriving. And the external factors, the water, the soil nutrients, the atmosphere, all those, so there's nobody can thrive on their own. We also need the input of others. And I think if you were not here last month, you need to go and watch that leverage, because we discussed in detail so many things you can do, you can enjoy from others. It's just using other people's stuff to achieve your goal, to achieve your aim, to achieve your purpose in life, to achieve your career success. And all of us, we establish also, all of us have got to where we are really by actually using leverage. Virtually all of us have leveraged the resources of our parents to go to school, to attain whatever we've attained education-wise. And there are still so many other leverages that we can use to flourish and then to grow in life. So I will suggest that you check that out and see. And then also talked about um, the location as well. Location is also very, very important in flourishing, in thriving. So, John, you want to pick out the next person to us, and then we'll proceed from there.
I pick Oladele Shegun. Is it Shegun?
Okay,
Yeah.
yes, let's hear from you. Shegun, can we hear from you? Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, sure.
So what I basically know about thriving is that the major thing that they said, but one thing I'll just add to it is the willingness and the ability of learning, will I say, new things in order to grow, to flourish, and to succeed in life, in all aspects of life.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Shegun, for that submission. So that also now brings another angle to it, that willingness to learn, ability to learn, as in for you to grow, you've got to add to you. You've got to add to your capacity, add to your energy, add to your abilities. And you do that through learning and application. And that is what or how we're able to achieve this, our goal of flourishing, of thriving, of growing. So I want to thank you guys for all these very beautiful submissions. We'll go from here and then look at this saying. It's a quote. It's a bit long, and you can see that 3. And this is by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn, I consider a mentor. He's dead now. Every life form seems to strive to its maximum except human beings. Now, Jim is telling us that every life form, as in everything that lives, strive to its maximum best, except human beings. So there is only human beings that don't bother about becoming maximum. How tall will a tree grow? As tall as it possibly can. Human beings, on the other hand, have been given the dignity of choice. You can choose to be all, or you can choose to be less. Why not stretch up to the full measure of the challenge and see what all you can do? So what he's saying is that human beings, because we are the only living that have this choice. We have a choice to be or not to be, and we exercise that choice. Of all God's creatures, human beings that are created as free moral agents. That is, I can choose to be what I want to be, who I want to be, no matter what I was designed to be. And that on its own has helped certain human beings. We've discussed some of the people that have been tagged as failure, as disaster, and how they turn it around to become successful. And by exercising choice, and then how people who have been dogged, okay, this one is going to be a phenomenal success, how they have ended up failing just by also exercising their choice. So it's your choice as human beings. That's what they're saying. So you can choose to thrive and you can choose not to thrive. It is your choice. The choice is always yours. And that is what Jim Rohn is telling us here. So let's look at, and this is actually the logo for Thrive. This Thrive that this is the logo for Thrive. It's my own personal logo. in terms of thriving. And, just like the last speaker said, that ability to what? To learn, to increase capacity, to be disciplined, to be consistent. Please, can you tell me what you understand from these three? I mean, I would like us to maybe 2, 3 people to give us what are your observations from this. It's an emblem, it's a logo. It's not a conventional tree, but I want us to give us what you understand from it. Anyone, please?
Okay, so I think I would like to say something.
Please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, sir. The first thing I noticed when I looked at the logo is the roots. The roots are like firmly rooted, so to say, in the ground, and I am prompted to believe that is the part of knowledge.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, and you cannot do beyond what you know. Let me say that. So that means the more you know, the more you can do. So I feel like that knowledge that is deeply rooted in us has the capacity to spring up to something really good. And looking at the leaves on the trees, they are flourishing. So it means that tree is successfully thriving. And then the branches too, well extended. I want to interpret that to be our reach towards people. I've learned that man is a product of influence. That means nobody's an island. With whatever we are today, even the way we speak, the way we think, the way we talk is an influence of someone we've met or someone we've come across. So that branch to me represents our reach towards other people and how well we can influence them as well as be influenced by them. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. That's pretty apt, and I should say profound as well. I mean, you covered different aspects. So let's hear from another person. Do you agree with Emmanuel, or do you have a slightly different opinion? And there's no wrong answer, there's no right answer. We just learn from everybody sharing. Who wants to go at it again? Anyone, please? Or as Emmanuel said it all. Anyone willing to share with us?
Okay, I believe what Emmanuel has said is profound, and he pretty much has said almost everything. But just from my own perspective, I know he mentioned that the roots can signify knowledge, but then I also want to look at the roots in another aspect. If you look at the roots, it's well extended. It's and the roots just like it has different. I would say I don't know if it's branches now, but the root has many roots extending to different things, and I feel like those things that make up the root, like those different aspects of the root that make up the root, can mean our is what is where you are rooted in, like you operate from where you are rooted in. I don't know if I'm using the right one now. Where what you are giving out is stemming from where you are rooted in. So this root now can mean our values, our inputs, our discipline, our consistency, those things that are making sure that the result we are seeking, which is that the leaves, which the branches are giving out, are flourishing. Those things that we keep doing behind the scene, because if you look at the root is not seen. Nobody is seeing the root. It's deep in the ground. So nobody will see those things that I have to do behind. for you to get the results you are getting. So it is you that know, okay, this is the result I'm looking at, and these are the things I need to do. And it's not just one thing. There are a lot of things that, if it's in the Christendom, we call it consecrations. These are discipline things that you tell yourself, I have to do it whether I like it or not, because these are things that ensure that I get this result. And not just that I get this result, that this result keep being consistent, that it's not just I get it and then it goes off like that. So that's what I got from the logo too.
Again, I'm tempted to actually hand over the mic to you guys. I mean, to Miracle and then Emmanuel. You guys maybe just take the session, but you guys are very, very on point with what you've said, even beyond what I was even thinking about. And I mean, we started Thrive, I think 2016 or 2016 or 2018, and this is the logo that we use. And the point is, you guys are very, very right in terms of, you are seeing this root. It's representing knowledge, representing discipline, consistency, preparation, all those things that you do unseen. Because just like Miracle said, the roots are usually not seen, but a tree can only flourish to the extent of its root. And I'm glad that when you guys are approaching, you're talking of Thrive, the two keywords that are consistent in your definitions are growth and flourish. Growth and flourish. And we are talking in terms of using that symbol, that imagery of growth and flourishing. And we are saying that, hey, there's no growth, there's no flourishing unless there is preparation, unless there is consistency, unless there is good foundation, discipline, those things that you do that nobody sees you, people don't know about. Miracle talk about consecration. Those are personal decisions that you make on your own. You don't have to go to the one I'm consecrated. Things that you do by choice, by discipline, consistently, that people don't get to see, they don't get to know. But when the results come, people see, this person is doing this, is doing that, is great, is succeeding and all that, but they don't know the story behind the success. And the so-called haters will also be hating you. After all, we went to the same school together. After all, we were in the same class together. What did you have that? Maybe he was sleeping with sugar daddy. Maybe he's bribing his way. They don't know those things that you have done behind the scenes. And another very fundamental thing, based on what you guys said, if you look at those two leaves, those leaves are flourishing, they are green, they are lush. But one is reaching beyond, even though it's rooted where it is reaching beyond the space. That means it can go as far as anywhere it wants to go in the world. One is reaching upward, one is reaching sideward. I mean, so if you can be planted where you are, be rooted there and make an impact, spread your impact, spread your influence upward and sideways. So when I think Thrive, this is my idea of Thrive. And do you know this thing especially is embedded in the Bible? There's a biblical, and when we're looking at the domains of thriving now, the next slide, okay, I think maybe the last slide after this, we'll look at that. So what it means I mean, we all think Thrive, or most people think Thrive is succeeding, is about money, having money or wealth. No. It's not about having money or having wealth. Somebody can be thriving and not have a fat bank account. It's not about success as we know it too. Oh, he's succeeding, he's building houses all over the place, then he's thriving. No, it doesn't mean. It can be all those, but plus much more, because when we are describing or defining it, None of us have talked about money. None of us have talked about wealth, but we talk about growth. We talk about flourish. So it's about doing something, doing it well, doing it consistently, doing it with discipline, and flourishing while doing it. So we see that when we remove money, because money can be deceptive, the Bible says that the deceitfulness of riches, money can deceive us to think maybe we are doing well, but we are not really doing well. Somebody can be making money and actually be misbehaving. And I think because he's making money, he's succeeding. No, money can blindside somebody. Material things can blindfold somebody from the actual reality of their lives or of their fears. So it's not about having money, it's not about having material things. It's about doing a fundamental thing and doing it well and flourishing while doing it. So, the domains of thriving. Where are the areas where we can thrive, where we need to talk in terms of thriving? Your calling. All of us have a calling on our lives. In fact, not just one, we have different callings. Some of you are called, you are still maybe children or a child to your parents. You are brother or sister to some people. You are, I don't know, all of us here, I believe we are all Nigerians here. You are a Nigerian. Those are callings, maybe your profession, if you're already working, whatever it is, you have a calling there. So you have different callings on your head. This calling is not just, okay, God said, call me to go and start. No. You have several callings, always rolling to one person. So when you are fulfilling your responsibilities, your charges in your calling, you are thriving. When you are doing it the way you should do, and you are seeing growth, you are seeing flourish, then that means you are thriving in that regard. And it doesn't have to do with money. Your family, your career, your location where you are located currently, your relationships, and your placement in life. These are domains, some of the domains where we are meant to thrive. These are some of the domains where we are meant to thrive. And there are more than this. And I was talking about thriving. So that this is actually grounded in the Bible, and it's in two different passages of the Bible. In 2 Kings chapter 19, verse 30, and in Isaiah chapter 37, verse 31, it says that, and the remnant who have escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. And the remnant, I will take that again, who have escaped of the house of Judah shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. So now we are talking about the dimensions of thriving. And the first thing from that scripture, they are talking about remnant. Who can tell us what you understand by remnant? Anyone willing to share with us? Please go ahead, Emmanuel.
Okay. Thank you, sir. In this context, I believe remnants are descendants or maybe of a tribe or family. Yeah, I think that's what the remembrance means.
Okay, anyone, please, another person we need to share with us what you understand by, thank you, Emmanuel, for that, by remnant. Let me see that these are remnants. What do you understand by that?
For me,
now,
I feel like.
Okay, please go ahead.
So I feel like
okay.
Let's hear from Miracle, then we'll hear from Happiness.
Okay, I feel like remnants are like something that is remaining after maybe others have been destroyed, or maybe something has happened, they are not complete, kind of. There used to be more than this, but maybe something happened and others had to leave, others have to be destroyed or something, and these ones are the ones that are remaining. So those people remaining, or those things remaining, are what we call remnants.
Okay, thank you for that. Miracle Happiness, let's hear from you, please.
Okay, she has said what I want to say. Good evening, sir.
Wow, good evening.
Actually summarized it, but I can put another word like the
Please.
survival.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. That actually sums it. Yeah, both of you actually hit the nail on the head, but you saying survivors, that's just it. Remnants are survivors from war. Now, it's not just war, as in they fought war, but they've been defeated. And in this context, these people here, the Babylonians come from wherever, and they ransacked them. They killed the entire Israelites and killed them, took all of them captives. Those that escaped, that were not killed, and they actually some escaped and were not taken as captives. They were not taken as slaves to God knows how many thousands of kilometers they have to travel on foot, bounded in chains. So those are the ones that escaped. Those are the remnants. Or people who are too old, because after war they take captives of war to go and make them slaves. But you, as you won't carry old people, because they will just mess you up. So they don't take old people, people who are feeble, people who cannot do anything, cannot do any work, who will just be slowing everybody down. So they actually leave them. Sick people who are on bed and all that, they are bedridden, they don't take them as captives. Women who are, maybe children who are too young, they leave them. So those are remnants. They are usually very fragile people. And then those who are able to escape among them. So those are the remnants. So that is suggesting that there had been adversity. There had been challenges. There had been very insidious and invidious situations that had demoralized them, battered them, crunched them, crumpled them, as life does to all of us. As life does to all of us. You see that? You see, those remnants, those who are very discouraged, they're usually poor because they don't have economic agility. They were not able to do much. They're actually very poor people. So nobody even take any cognizance of them. You see, those remnants that escaped of the house of Judah, those who were not taken as slaves, they will again bear root downward. Remember that image we just saw there. Downward. So that they can bear fruit upward. So that is the idea of thriving. It's saying that you must weather adversity. You must weather adversity. And I will come back to John's very contextual analysis of this tree behind me. Do you know that of all the trees, this tree is probably maybe the one that survived? There are probably many other trees of his same age, around the same time, and you can see that the breeze, the wind keeps hitting it. Others have died. This is one of the trees that survived the adversity. This is ocean, you are seeing sweeping it. It has taken so many, uprooted them and all that. But this one that survived, the survival of the fittest, survivors, is showing that it has weathered storms. It has weathered adversity. There is no talk of thriving until you have weathered adversity, until you have experienced and overcome the vicissitudes of life. Adversity, storms. So it's when you have weathered that, then you now start to get grounded. You've got to survive the adversity. This remnant of Judah here, they survived a war. In fact, 2 wars. They came and ransacked the land 2 times, 2 different times. So they survived 2 wars. So they've weathered adversity, were the ones that were remaining. Excuse me, please. Then they now started getting grounded. Started getting knowledge, started getting preparation, started developing capacity, developing ability, training themselves, disciplining themselves, doing all those things that we've mentioned. And until you start to do that, there is no flourishing. That's why I said that I'm glad that none of us saying success, money. When you have money, you have success, those ways, without going through these dimensions, it doesn't last. It doesn't stay. Because the person has not learned the very fundamental lessons of life, lessons of success, lessons of thriving. So you must weather adversity. You must get grounded, get knowledge, get prepared before you can start to talk of flourishing. Now, this takes time. It takes time. Somebody says that perfection is a child of time. It takes discipline. It takes things from you that you. So there's nothing like thriving. It's not equal to success. It's bigger than success. It's better than success, because it's a success that has experienced storm and survived, that has been grounded, that has learned from all those storms, learned from all those adversities, have turned those hard experiences, those sufferings, those hardships, has turned them into insights, into philosophy that is now using to live. And is now to live, and then to now start to actualize, implement what it has learned, and is now flourishing. It's a very tedious process to thrive. It is bigger than success. It is better than material wealth, because it's in dimension, it starts with adversity, training, rigor, mental rigor, emotional rigor, social rigor. I mean, things that you are just striving. Hey, you are people don't know what you are going through, don't know what, but you are just keeping at it. You are keeping at it, and then you are getting grounded. You are developing emotional stamina, physical stamina, mental stamina as you weather all these storms. That's why, I mean, for those, I mean, those are familiar with Theory of Evolution by Charles Darwin. When there's a climate change or things happen and a certain species is wiped out, it's not every species that is wiped out. Some will always survive. Those are those who can weather the storm, and those that survive, they develop more resilience. They develop resilience, and you can even try it. I mean, we know mosquitoes. When you use insecticide on mosquitoes, it's not all of them that die. When you first use a new set of, a new brand of insecticide, kill quite a number of them, but not everything dies. Those that don't die, they've developed resilience. That thing cannot kill them again. You need a stronger or another brand of insecticide to kill them. That is resilience. That is what this remnant is about, the survivors. They are more thick-skinned. They are more able to weather adversity. That kind of thing cannot kill them again. But they start from the point of adversity to try to start to get grounded before they start flourishing. It's bigger than success. It's more fundamental, more grounded, because it lasts. This tree behind me, just like John, this tree, we don't know how many years been there. It will be there forever, because it's even firmly planted by the sea. but it's not the only one. When he was there, others probably grew up together and then they are no more. That's why it lasts. The kind of thriving flourishing that you do when you pass through these dimensions is sustainable. It's not the one that just comes and goes, fizzle in and fizzle out. So let's now look at the odds. What are the odds that can prevent you from thriving? And we know there are always odds. And the topic says that how to thrive despite the odds. Lack of money, lack of support, lack of motivation, criticism or skepticism, misunderstanding or misjudgment. People can misunderstand you, they will misjudge you. Those are odds. And all of us want to be liked by people, want people to like us, want to be popular jingle. But people can actually misunderstand you, they can misjudge you. And those are odds, because when people start to get that kind of vibe, they don't want to do anything again. Because you'll be feeling misjudged, misunderstood, and then you just lose all motivation to what? To try and do something. Disadvantaged background or pedigree. Don't have experience, I don't have this, I don't have that. And then fears and uncertainties. These are some of the odds. There are more than this that prevent people from wanting to thrive. Don't have money, don't have support, don't have motivation. I'm afraid of criticism. People misunderstand you. They misjudge you. People don't know any better. And everybody always have an opinion about something, and they say they want all that. When you come from a very disadvantaged background or pedigree, and when you are battling with fears and uncertainties, those are odds that can prevent us from thriving. And we need to know that they are odds, and we can thrive in spite of them. So how do we overcome the odds? How do we manage them? When we don't have money or we don't have support from people, can be creative. Most of the time we want to do something, and I've thought about this, and I'm going to need ₦1 million to do this thing. Maybe you don't even need 100,000 naira. You just have to be creative. What are the cost-saving measures? What are the shoestring version of it that can do and start? If nobody supports you, you can use creativity to start, no matter how small. Don't wait until you have all the resources. You may never have all the resources. But with creative thinking, you can actually start whatever you want to start without waiting until you have all the resources, which may never be. And then you beat procrastination, and you beat the lack of motivation that comes from not having money or not getting somebody to support you. Because some of you are waiting for my mommy, my daddy, my uncle, my auntie, my brother, my sister, my friend, my benefactor. No, what if they don't support you? Would that mean you're going to stop? Does that mean you won't choose to thrive? It's your life, it's your calling, it's your mandate, it's your assignment. So you can't now submit it at the altar of people until they do. I won't do. I won't. Hey, that is very pathetic. Then when you lack motivation, or you are facing criticism, skepticism, or discouragement, you have to always encourage yourself. Encourage yourself by recalling at some point in your life, it can't be that bad that you've not achieved success before, no matter how little. What happened? What did you do differently? What did you do smartly? When you recall those, you get a dose of encouragement. And that should always motivate you to what? To combat lack of motivation, criticism from others, skepticism, doubts from others, or even discouragement. Because at some point you will have achieved something in life, and then you can always recall those. What did I do then? How did I feel? How did I feel? and you use that to motivate yourself to continue to do it. Then when you are battling with misunderstanding and judgment, what you can do there is to be true to yourself. You can't control people's thoughts. You can't control people's emotions and all that. You can only control yourself, but you can be true to yourself. Let them say you are whole when you are I, and just remain true to your I. Eventually, they will all come around and see you for I as you really are. Don't say because people are misunderstanding you, they are misjudging you, then you won't do what you're supposed to do. That is your life. It's not theirs. It's your result. It's not theirs. So you can't sacrifice your result at the altar of what they are thinking, what they are saying. They don't like you. They don't. You, that, so what? You still do what you're supposed to do anyway. And then when you have a disadvantaged background, you're not from a well-to-do family, you don't have any rich parent or rich uncle or auntie that is willing to support you or fund you, whatever, then you've got to develop yourself. You've got to develop yourself and prove yourself worthy of success, because nobody argues with success. You've got to develop, got to prepare additionally what you don't lack, what you don't have in facilities. You've got to make up for in numbers. Don't have this, but can you do something that can help you to get something close to you? You have to work harder than those who have somebody who's willing to fund them, who's willing to give them everything they want. That means but you can't just stop. You have to do something, develop yourself, get grounded, prepare, learn more. And then when you are faced with fears and uncertainties, you've got to act. There's nothing that is worth whether you're going to do that you won't feel some level of fear, some level of uncertainties. But you've got to act. Somebody said you should act in spite of fear, and the death of fear is certain. Act in spite of fear, and the death of fear is certain. That even you act despite the fact that you are afraid, despite the fact that you are concerned, then you will kill the fear itself. Then if all of the above, or there are others, you've got to live a life of devotion. You've got to be a prayerful person. We've all heard that spiritual controls the physical. It's true. See, once you want to do anything mainstream, anything positive in life, there are always forces trying to stop it. There are always forces trying to stop it. So you've got to align yourself to a higher force as well that can help you to what? To weather all these storms. The moment you say you want to do something worthwhile with your life, you can be rest assured that you are going to start facing distractions. It could be from your parents, could be from your siblings, could be from your friends, could be from people who have, they will come from maybe from one external that you can see, what's this one? Come from people that you trust and all that, and it's not as if it's their fault. That is just the way life is wired. So you've got to know when you are facing this kind of situation, so that you are actually aligning yourself to how you can be able to weather the storms when they come, to combat these issues. So you've got to be a man, a woman of prayer, a man of woman that read the word, that study the scriptures. You've got to these are antidotes. So there will always be odds for you to try. Once you decide to, this tree we are seeing is always facing hostility, the way it's swinging here and there. But for it to be thriving, it has to always manage those odds. You won't stop. But the beauty of thriving is that you start by weathering storms. So you are better grounded. You have better established to be able to manage those issues. So here are some thoughts on, as we round off, usually the final slides. This is Jim Rohn. I've talked about Jim Rohn earlier. I used to say, I sure hope things would change. Then I learned that the only way things are going to change is for me is when I change. when you are waiting for others, somebody to change, somebody to come and do, it's when you change that things will change for you. It's not going to come from any external sources. You will only be the one to what? To catalyze it. Then you notice that if you want to do something, you will find a reason. If you don't want to do it, you will find an excuse. If you really want to do something, you will find a reason to do it. If you want to thrive, you will find a reason to thrive or reasons to thrive. Or if you don't want to thrive, you will find an excuse. My uncle did not support me. My auntie did not give me. My parents did not go to school. My mother did not. My father, no, you've got to find a reason to succeed despite those odds. And somebody says that Henry Ward Beecher said that hold yourself responsible for a higher standard than anybody else expects of you. Never excuse yourself. Never pity yourself. Be a hard master to yourself and be lenient to everybody else. To hold yourself to a higher standard than everybody else expects of you. And then Vernon Sanders Law says that experience is a hard teacher because she gives the test first, the lesson afterwards. In life, we always get the test first before we now get the lesson. So that's why adversity, challenges, trials, tribulations, all those things, we learn from them. And when we learn from them, we become resilient, we gain experience, we gain insights to tackle future ones that would come. And that is the last slide. We have a Thrivers community. If on WhatsApp, on Facebook, on YouTube, you can actually watch this episode and the other ones on YouTube. If you search for my name on YouTube, Babatunde Oladele on YouTube. And if you want to join the Thrive community on WhatsApp, you can use these short links, https://bit.ly/forward and then Thrivers, and then you'll be able to join the WhatsApp community. There you get to know when we are having the next one. You get to know the title, the topic we're talking about, and daily. I think some of my saying, some of my writing, some of my quotes I shared there for you to get certain things about what I'm sharing on a daily basis. So I would be glad to have you. And if you are more active on Facebook, you can join us on Facebook. You can check the YouTube channel and subscribe to it so that you get to know when we load the next one. And you can also check the website to be part of it. So that is that today. Thanks for listening. Do we have any question? Any question, please, from anyone? Questions, comments, objection if you don't agree. Why not? Because we're all here to learn from one another. If you have objection, please, let's hear it. No, what you said, that's not right. That's not what I know to be. I mean, all of us will learn from that because it's about perspectives. Anyone, please, willing to share with us? Questions, comments, objections? Okay, I'm taking it to mean that nobody has any question. I want to say thank you once again to everyone for joining us today. Again, we'll meet next month, the last Sunday of the month. That's going to be the last Sunday in the month of August. And then we would convert when we discuss another topic of Thrive. So till then, have a fantastic remainder of July and a blessed August. Bye.